All right, behind me I have Bill's forming. Not forming, but he still has a B&M. He's a good friend of mine, and he asked me to do a video for him and his shop to try and explain to people how the shipping method actually goes for shipping their cars back to the States, storing their cars. And also this will be a video showing how this is a new setup that he has. So he's inside now. We're gonna get ready to do like the informational part of it and show you guys what to expect when you ship your car, or you want him to store your car while you're in the States, which can happen. Stay tuned for NISMOLOGY. CPD Motors. This is a new area. This is the office. Here at CPD Motors, and this is Bill's new area. So he's going to explain what this place is about and what more comes with, like different packages such as GoodNet and shopping for a car online here in Japan. And here's Bill.
Yeah, basically I just want everybody to understand is that I've moved out of the B&M shop, which I ran for 20 years. I've turned all that over to my sons. Both of them run now both the repair side and the part side of things. I've moved down here to CPD, and I've created this because of the amount of shipping that we're doing now. Because, I mean, as you see on the board behind you, those are cars that are either on the ship or in Osaka or have landed a couple of them. But I mean, we're doing right now probably roughly the 20 to 30 cars a month worldwide. So that's taking up a lot of time. So that's why I had to move out of the B&M shop to move over here in order to keep up with the customers and give them the best service to make sure that I'm always there for them. So when I was over there at the other shop, having 10 different jobs, it was kind of pulling away from a few things. So that was where the biggest change came in, I guess. So now that I'm not at the repair side of things, they handle everything, and I'm handling the shipping and the purchases from, like you're saying, GoodNet, the different other websites here in Japan too. As far as the shipping goes, basically the customers bring the car down to us. We'll handle getting them cleared from both the military and the Japanese side of things. We go ahead and create the export certificate for them. We do all the paperwork here to make sure that's done properly. Then we take the car and we send it up to Osaka. In Osaka, it goes to a big yard I've got there. It's fenced in, barbed wire. It's got 24-hour roving security, so I know the cars are safe. I also have somebody checking in on them, probably about 10 hours a day, so he's always there. Then once they get ready, if they're already 25 years old, then they get prepped and they get shipped within a month. Usually they're on a boat. I mean, obviously, boat schedules change things. But usually they'll be on a boat within a month. From there, then they're heading to report stateside. And during that process, while they're heading stateside, I also go ahead and get them set up with a broker stateside to make sure the car gets cleared out of customs properly, help them with all their paperwork. We send a copy of the EC. Via email, basically, we'll send a copy of the EC, we'll send the translation of the EC, and we send their original BOL, and then we also send the performance certificate invoice, which proves to the government what they paid for the car, where they bought it from, etc. Then, once the car is also on the ship, when I start that process through email with the broker, then we also send out a whole package to the customer with all the originals, so they have everything they need. And then we'll stay there with the customer via email or phone or Facebook Messenger to make sure their car gets picked up properly, because I've shipped over probably 1,000 cars worldwide now, and I guarantee I've shipped out the most out of anybody in Okinawa, and we haven't lost one car due to any mistakes, unforeseen circumstances, natural disasters, nothing. I'm not planning on, trying to start anytime soon with that. I want to make sure they all get home.
So he said worldwide. This is not just here in Japan. So where do a lot of your customers, like, I know a lot of them are military, but they move to different bases, Germany, US, like different places around the world. So
I would say 90% of our cars are coming from the military that are here on the island or up in mainland, and those are usually heading stateside. We've sent them to England before, Italy, Germany, Australia. I sent a couple cars for the consulate down to Africa before. And now that this is kind of extending itself more, because I'm just focusing on trying to find better ways to do things for our customers.
So with the, if somebody does buy a car, he can store their car until it's ready to get shipped, correct?
Right, we've got storage available up at the lot in Osaka. Generally, in most cases, it's around 12,000 yen a month to store the car there. It's still in the same fenced-in lot. The guys are still watching it every day. They see them. They're usually put towards the back somewhere where nobody's going to bump into them by accident. Like that. They stay next to the cars that are in storage, so there's no reason for anybody to touch them unless they're started.
Yeah.
The longest we've probably had a car in storage right now, I think it's 2.5 years waiting for it to become eligible. And then we make it so that the customer can pay us every 6 months or so. Because trying to pay 3 years of storage can be difficult at one time too.
Yeah. Especially with these 34s coming up, so they're probably gonna see a couple of those.
Yeah, pretty much on the left side of that board over there, that you see, those are the ones that are all in storage or that just ain't eligible yet. You see by the dates next to them, that's when they become eligible to care of.
So this is a pretty nice place that you have. This is just the office area. And on the other side, you got your parts where you're gonna be working on the cars, welding, just like fabrication work or anything like that. So
yeah, that's the future goal here. I'm doing some work. Obviously some of the cars that come in, we've had some that are broke that can't ship, so I've had to fix them for customers, and that's why we have the garage. And then the motor building, I'm still doing on a case-by-case basis. The welding. I'm gonna move towards more certain types of fabrication here probably later this year once I finish getting everything set up over there the way I want it. But again, it's a one-man show, so it's not to be by an appointment. A lot of the ones that we order from the customers that come off of GoNet go directly to the B&M shop, so that way those guys can get a look at them, see what it's going to need for the JCI, or get it registered into the customer's name. Then they'll call the customer with an estimate. That way we can handle everything from not only the purchase part of the car to the shipping part of the car, getting it to the island, and also make sure that the customer's not left out there hanging with like, okay, now what do I do with this thing? How do I JCI it? How do I get my name? So that way it goes over there, so that way they can explain to the customer what needs to be done. And they've been the ones that have been showing up from mainland. I think they had 4 show up this week that we've ordered, and those 4 right there, 3 of them are already done JCI. One will be done. One just showed up yesterday, so that'll be done Monday or Tuesday. So they've been pumping them out as fast as possible too. Try to keep them up. Obviously we all understand that you need to have a car in town.
Yep. So speaking of GoNet, most Americans or foreigners, I would say, when they come here, they automatically hear GoNet pretty much from either their friend or a neighbor or local sometimes, and they go right to the computer and go to Google and type GoNet, and it comes up as...
Most people go straight to the GoNet English side because they can't read the Japanese. Obviously, they'll probably pop up right next to each other, so you go straight to the English version of it, which we can get into here in a little bit when we show them that. But it's not the actual GoNet. The prices on the GoNet exchange are generally $1,500 to $3,000 more than they actually are on the Japanese GoNet. To make it, I guess, to kind of give everybody an explanation too, the GoNet is like the biggest dealer site in Japan, where most of the dealers will post their cars up on there for everybody in all of Japan to see, so that way you can call the dealer directly. If you go through GoNet Exchange, you're going through an office that's not affiliated with the dealers at all. So you're talking to them, then they're calling the dealer, almost like a middleman, like we do too. But the difference is the price hike, because they're going off the cars that are listed on your website, whereas we charge a flat rate of 60,000 yen handle the purchase, handle the shipping arrangements, handle getting it over to B&M for the JCI arrangements, everything. Our price don't change based on the car.
Yep.
So we're, with the English side of it, the price is gonna change based on what they feel the car is worth.
So with that, do you suggest people contact you or to try and get what they should be getting, like the better quote for the car?
I mean, I would recommend, obviously, because it is my business, this is what I've done for 20 years. There are a couple other places on the island that do this too. If they contact the dealer directly for the customer, or if they go through Gwinnett Exchange just for you, I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's where people are gonna feel that out for themselves. But that's why I set up the TV in here and try to get a good office, because that way when somebody comes in here, wants to see that car that they're thinking about buying, or the car of their dreams or whatever, I can pull it up right there on the TV. That way they can see it. We can make sure that's the right one. I can get it, on the TV is a lot better than your cell phone. We can actually get a better look at it. So
Here in Japan, like in America, you can just swap your transmission and go about your business. But here in Japan, if you swap an engine or transmission, like all that has to be put on the title. So when you do shock-in, which is the JCI, which is inspection, they just, if they see that on there, then it's fine. But if not, then yeah, you have to pretty much wait a long time until you get everything put on the shock-in for your swap. So.
And it can be a lengthy process, because it is that thick pad of paper and a lot of measurements and stuff that need to be done. We can handle it. It's just the customer has to understand there's going to be a
little bit longer time.
There's going to be more time. Usually what I recommend for people, is even if they find it on the Gwinnett Exchange, they can reach us on the Facebook page. Just send me the link on the English site, and I'll do the work and go find it on the Japanese side, because we can read it and I can see what's going on there. Then I can send a customer that link so they can actually see what the price of the car is, so they know I'm not lying to them. They can see it right there for themselves. And then from there, then they can decide if that's the one they want to go after.
And that's what most people should want, like someone that's trustworthy with you giving your money to. So like I know a lot of people have gotten things that was not explained, and when they got here that the car was not like it was, and they spent all that money and just ended up with a lemon. So
if you want to show them the screen,
flip it around.
Okay, basically this is the English side of Gwinnett that everybody's going to see when they type in Gwinnett Exchange. This is what most people will probably click on just because it's in English. That's the main page of it. But then if you actually go to the Japanese Gwinnett, it looks more like this. So this is where you can see some of the differences. All I can do is probably look for a similar car. But on here, this is just one I pulled up. That's one of the ones that we got for sale here. But this place, in this case, you can also, when the customer comes down here, we can pull up high quality pictures, show it to them so they can get a good look at it. Enlarge the pictures if needed in certain areas. This way the customer can see all the information what the car is listed for. Like this is obviously one of the ones I put up there for sale. I haven't given Gwinnett Exchange, the English side, permission to post this one on theirs, so this one isn't on their side. Obviously, again, I prefer the customer come see me when it comes to talking about these, but this shows all the car information. I know most people can't read it, but we can. So if they send me the link on the English side here, they go on here and they pick out their make and model, and they can shoot it to me on the other side. Let's see if I can. There you go. There's a perfect example for you right there. Basically, here's the car on the Japanese side of Gwinnett, where it's only $239. Is the price of it there, and then the same car on the English side is $259 or $250 something. So there's your price jump right there. That's a lot.
And that's probably not even.
That's not
full.
shipped.
Yeah, that's not even the full price of what you're gonna pay.
Yeah. So there's an example right there.
So it's a process. If you get a car that is, he's explained, if you get the car from certain areas on GoodNet, and it doesn't show what all the modifications are that's on that car, and if you get that car and it has what you just said, like stuff that needs to be put on the title, like that's gonna set you back some time getting that car registered. So if you come here, they will see all that on the pretty much on the Japanese side of it, and you know they can handle that accordingly. So
yeah, in most cases we can spot it by the picture, and I can see it in the picture and go ahead and ask the dealer, you know, if it's on the title, if it's not. So even if the customer still is okay with that car, I'm like, hey, no, this is the one I want. And it's like, okay, well, you're just gonna have to understand it's gonna take a little bit of time once it gets here to get it registered. You know, I believe as long as they know that, and if they still want that car, if they like it, then it's worth it for them.
yep.
But if, you know, they get the car from the English side, or, you know, another broker or something like that may not tell them that, then they're expecting to drive the car after a week after it gets here, and they didn't have that set into their head that it might take 2 months to get it registered. Because a lot of those have ended up over at our shop too, where people, you know, or at the B&M shop that Jesse runs now, where, you know, they've ordered it on their own, or had somebody help them get it here, or even cars that were bought from service members that have, you know, done things to them.
Yep.
Once it's got that transmission swap done, there ain't no, reversing that, so we have to do measurements and take pictures and stuff. So Jesse over there still helps them out with it, but again, it adds to the time, and it's kind of a shocker when you're expecting to drive your car a week later.
Yep. Most definitely is a deal breaker with Japanese inspections. We really hate them.
Which I've been, you know, for over the last 15 years or so of doing this, I've been successful in most cases of catching most of them. There's a couple that fall between the cracks that throw a little wrench into things that you're not expecting, but I've stood by every one of those to make sure it still gets finished to the end, even when it's not making me money.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's just more of a matter of getting it done for the customer, because we've already committed to it. And I do have a spot where it's just like the job needs to get done. It does sometimes, I mean, you know, we all got bills to pay, but sometimes it's not just about the money either. It's also about taking care of the customer to make sure that even if they might have made a mistake, or the dealer didn't disclose this or whatever, by that time it's too late, because these cars are bought, no claim, no return. So that's where, you know, I will do everything in my power, even if it takes 3-4 months to stand behind that thing and get it done. Again, the time doesn't come back to worth being worth the money, but the satisfaction on the customer's face of getting it done at that point, because I didn't just say, hey, see you later. Good luck with your car. I'll stand back there with it if I have to. I just have to be a little bit patient, because it does take more time that way.
Yeah. Especially with customers being not in the location where their car is. So a lot of people will either ship their car, or not ship it, they would leave it here and then go back to the States and expect for it to get shipped over. And sometimes that does not happen. So with somebody as truthful as Bill and CPD Motors, that's going to be committed to getting your car to you in the States or wherever you are, and not having, you know, you're not worried about, you know, is this paperwork correct or is that correct? You know, he's pretty much going to be there with you 100% just to make sure everything's good to go. So
got to make sure it gets done.
So I would suggest you, if you're going to buy a car from GoodNet, to either do your research and then contact CPD Motors. You have Facebook, the CPD Motors Facebook?
Yep, there's CPD Motors website, CPD Motors LLC on Facebook. There's also obviously email, or however they want to get a hold of me, they can call. We are open Monday through Saturday. Sometimes I do run out, but I'm not going for long.
Right.
So Facebook is probably the easiest for most people nowadays.
So I'll drop the link to the Facebook, and we'll get his location of here on where he is on Okinawa, and you guys contact CPD Motors if you need anything for your car before you need it shipped, or you want to buy a car, or if you need to try and get help with your shopping or JCI. Like, this is your guy to help you out with, make sure everything is correct and you can drive your car legally. Yep. And speaking of that, we're gonna have a next video of explaining the process of you can
Yeah, a little bit deeper into the shipping. Papers that need to be prepped ahead of time, or just basically gonna break it down. A couple of years ago we did some shipping classes, and now with COVID it's been a little bit difficult to do those, so I figured I could do it a little bit, or the community a service by putting it into a video, to where that way it's always out there, so that way people have these answers to some of these questions before they decide to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a car if they know it's gonna be worth it for them to try to take it home.
So that'll be the next video. Stay tuned and like, share, subscribe to NISMOLOGY. You guys are out. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu. お疲れ様でした。